Greetings, duelists, and welcome to another deck report. So this is gonna be a very fun one. Yeah, you saw last week that we did a lot of deck profiles. There were like 3 different decks. It's something that is not normal on this channel. I just felt really creative on this current TCG format. The format is kind of solved. There is no real deck or strategy that we need to figure out that is better than the current ones. But that doesn't mean that we cannot have fun with stuff that we gotten recently, or just ideas and concept that maybe could be flourished in the future. So what you see here on the screen are 4 ENNEACRAFT cards and an Imperm. Yeah. If you're reading the title of this video, you already know this is not really ENNEACRAFT. And I'm here to showcase you like what changes, right? So we're going to activate the org. Org is going to grab release. Release goes to our hand. We're going to activate release. Release going to scale Trom. And with Trom, we're getting rebirth. Now, why are we grabbing rebirth and not Enneapolis? You see the entire hand, right? We have all the ENNEACRAFTs in our hand for rotation, so we can get the maximum value out of this rebirth, right? The reason we're not playing Enneapolis is because we're going to use the rebirth, we're going to shuffle everything, and now we're showing the real deck. Yeah, this is Yummy Solfachord. But there is a small twist. We are playing ENNEACRAFT cards. So what does the ENNEACRAFT cards do for us in this particular strategy? Well, there are all level 1 and they are all pendulum skills. Well, at least the most important ones, right? And there are 12 of them. Which means that if you draw them alongside other Solfachord cards, you can just mass pendulum summon your board. And if you open them alongside Yummy monsters, you can just full combo. That is like the basis behind all of it. The other really cool thing is just like ENNEACRAFT is just a engine that just mulligans your hand into something else if you don't like the particular hand that you have, or you just have full ENNEACRAFT. Sadly, you can only shuffle back ENNEACRAFT, but yeah, that is basically the basis of the deck. So we're going to try to do the most optimal combo. That's why you're going to see a few takebacks in this combo. I wasn't 100% sure if Marshmallow Yummy being a special summon was the right play or not, because this does play into K9 cards. Fun fact: if you want to play if you want to bait the K9 cards, you can just set Org as your normal summon or your normal set, and Org, if they activate a K9, Org can just flip, add. And it's a level 1. But we're going to normal Kutea here. And again, I don't know if you're going to see a few takebacks. Yep. The reason we're taking back everything is because we're going to mass pendulum summon. And this is what I meant. Like with the Kutea, we grabbed the Solfachord. And then we just scaled the Trom. The Trom is scale 0. All the ENNEACRAFT are scale 0. Which means you can pendulum summon for level 1s in this deck. This Marshmallow Yummy didn't need to be summoned this way, but you know, I digress. So we're just gonna summon the Kulia. We're going to link away the Marshmallow Yummy. So the reason we're doing it this way is because if you activate Snatchy, you cannot summon Link 3 or higher monsters. If you're a Yummy Solfachord player, you already know this. But for those non-Solfachord players or non-Yummy players, this is a PSA to reminder if you are going to do something like this. So we're going to Snatchy. Snatchy for field spells. Field spell brings back Marshmallow. You're going to grab Cups to Yummy Way. You can discard the ENNEACRAFT release because that is a brick. And you can just do this. Scale back. Summon back. This is all Yummy stuff that you've already seen by now. Like, yeah, this is full Yummy combo. Something really cool is if you do draw other level 1 ENNEACRAFTs, you can pendulum summon them. They'll go to your face-up pendulum extra deck, and in the next turn, you can use release to grab back those ENNEACRAFTs. Now, this is it for the replay, right? So you're probably thinking, well, we're just using ENNEACRAFT as a draw engine. Why are we playing these cards in here? We don't need to play ENNEACRAFT. Is there anything else these ENNEACRAFT cards can do? Well, I'll show you. So, Hawk is going to grab Release. Release for Alas. Alas for Rebirth. We're going to reverse. Grab back. We're going to draw 2. And this is going to be the special gimmick. You see this Astapexea here? This can do one of two things. Either one, be the low scale for your Pendulum summons, because we do have Happiness, or you can use this in another way. And you'll see what I mean by that. So you're going to Marshmallow. I mean, again, we're just trying to do the most optimal combo, so we took back that play. We'd go Happiness. We're going to discard the Marshmallow because we have Surprise in our hand. You're going to a special Primo because of the special that because of the spell card. And now we got Kulia, and now we can just Yummy Surprise back to Marshmallow, and that's the full Yummy combo. You know what's gonna happen from this point onwards. We're going to discard the Promoa because we don't need them anymore. So in this build of the deck, we're playing 2 Snatchy. That's why we're tributing for Linkuriboh here. Linkuriboh is pretty extra important in this deck because it makes it so we don't have to waste all our 3 Snatchies or waste multiple Snatchies. We're going to Lollipop. Lollipop going to bring back. We're going to Metal Marsh. Metal Marsh bring back. And Herald. We'll talk about this later, but yeah, this is our entire setup. Now, what else does this end board have that makes it so different with the ENNEACRAFT cards? Let's pretend that it's the next turn, right? And let's say your opponent is playing like the mirror match and they're normal summoning like the Cupsy Yummy way, right? Well, this Rebirth has a graveyard effect. If your opponent normal or special summons a monster, you can banish this from your hand and set an ENNEACRAFT. So we can use the Rebirth, and we're going to use that effect. And with the Rebirth, we're going to set the Astapexea. So if you have any big ENNEACRAFT, or you just have any ENNEACRAFT in your hand that you know can be reactive to any of your opponent's cards, you can just keep it in your hand for the Rebirth and use the Rebirth as an extra interruption, so to speak. Astapexea is like one of the best ones because it basically gives you targeting protection for all your cards. And I'll say right now, if you're playing the Yummy Mirror Match and your opponent cannot target their cards and your cards, I don't think you're losing that game. Also, another point that I'm going to bring up, all the ENNEACRAFTs are light and earth, so none of them conflict with Dominus Purge. So that is another interruption. But yeah, that is the extra gimmick that the ENNEACRAFT have, like, as opposed to like any engine, like in this deck. Let's get straight to a list. So we are playing 60 cards. You know, shout outs to Thrift Gaming. 60 is the new 40. Like, you know, you really can't complain with math if everything's working out for you. You see a lot of pendulum skills. Like, you see, we're maxing out on all the level 1 ENNEACRAFTs, but we're also maxing out all the regular Solfachords. At least the normal, typical ones that we're playing. You saw from the replay that we have like these two, like for example. But yeah, like we're maxing out on each Yummy name because again, if you open a Yummy and an ENNEACRAFT, like that's just full combo no matter what. If you draw an ENNEACRAFT with a Solfachord, that's also full combo. This just the conflict is just an extra level 1. This can be literally anything you want. We're just since we're maxing out on all the Yummy names, I just figured I'd just throw this one in, right? But yeah, so from the big ENNEACRAFT, we're playing 1, 1, and 1. You can switch it up. You can play 3 Astapik Seiya if you want. You can play 3 Atori Mars if you want. There are some like values behind each of them. This is targeting protection. If you're going second and you have Rebirth in your hand and your opponent is summoning on your turn, you can use the Rebirth to set the Atorimar. And if your opponent activates anything after you set the Atorimar, this just becomes like full-blown negate that just like overtakes their board. If they try to respond to your cards, you can do the same thing with the Aiza Leon if you're going second. So that is another really cool thing about like the ENNEACRAFT spell. And this doesn't lock you. Like the only thing that locks you are the hand effects of all the ENNEACRAFT. And that's another really cool gimmick up behind the deck. Let's say you actually activated Rebirth and you drew on into just the ENNEACRAFT cards, and you didn't drew into like none of the Solfachords or none of the Yummies or none of those cards, right? You can just set all your ENNEACRAFTs and just play it as an ENNEACRAFT deck, and your opponent will just have to play around like all the monsters that you're setting. That is the absolute worst case scenario, right? You could just draw into the one-offs, but hey, you know, you're playing 60 cards. Like, if you end up drawing these cards, it's just part of the game. Like, shouts to John Wilkin, who lost in YCS Pittsburgh because, you know, he bricked on his Mr. Rugi deck. Like, it's just part of the game, right? You do have space for non-engine. Like, you see the 3 Fua, the 3 Purge, and the 3 Imperm. If you feel like this is not enough in 60 and you want to play a little bit more, you could shave down some ENNEACRAFT numbers. You can easily cut like Okneria. Okneria is like the worst one out of the 4. And you'll still have like a cohesive combo. I don't recommend cutting it to 6 scales because yes, you do have release. There is like technically 9 scales. But you are just gutting down in consistency with this engine. You could try it out. You could try 6, like just 2 different scales, and like the rest of the cards. But the max, if you want the max value out of Rebirth, you want to always have guaranteed 2 scales, which is like the ideology here. We're maxing out Solfachord. This is a scale 9. Like, it being a scale 9 basically means that you can pendulum summon into anything. Like, if you choose to play Mega Zaborg, you can scale and pendulum summon Mega Zaborg. I don't recommend it, but you could actually do that. We're also maxing out Cutea, same thing as Solfachord. This is a scale 8. So, like, just high scale Solfachords are welcomed in this deck, because they can just give you the ability to pendulum summon your monsters. Let's go to honorable mentions. You got Sangan. You know, this can just add any Yummy. This can also add an ENNEACRAFT if you link it away for Almarag. However, the way Sangan is worded, you should not be able to scale your ENNEACRAFT. You can't even use their spell effects, because it says you cannot activate cards or the effect of cards with the name, not monsters. Very clever, Konami. Very well thought out when it came to the errata. You got Kulia and Butea. Like, these are just extra Solfachords if you want to play them. I chose these 2 specifically because they don't conflict with Dominus Purge. And Butea being a scale 2 is absolutely perfect. Like, it means you can actually pendulum summon for all your level 1s. And if you read the skill effect of Butea, your opponent cannot activate anything when you pendulum summon like Solfachord monsters. So if you have a full Yummy hand, but you have like a Solfachord alongside them, you can just pendulum summon all of them. And you can just chain block with all your Yummies and all your Solfachords, and your opponent can't do anything about it. Pretty cool, right? You got cross out. You know, this deck, it kind of folds to Droll and Lockbird. So pretend Droll and Lockbird is in here. You can play more hand traps, like I said earlier. Mimic Maker, this is another one that I thought about. This guarantees you an ENNEACRAFT, but it does give an ENNEACRAFT to your opponent, so you have to be very careful on what you're giving to them. If you have ways to play around whatever you give your opponent, then this is a really good card. You got 1-for-1, you got Where Art Thou, you got Piri Ray Map. Piri Ray Map is specifically good in the Solfachord version of the deck because this can add Primoa, this can add Jester Confit, this can add Snatchy. The part is obvious, but the not so obvious part is Jester Confit and the Primoa. So this can add those. And if you're siding post side deck, you can side in Nightmare Corruptor Ibli and just add Ibli out of Piri Ray Map. Shoutouts to Ruined from my locals. He showed me this concept. Why am I showing this to you guys? Because awareness. Like, the more people know about this, the more people can be prepared for it, the more incentivized people can play for fun, which means more chances for this to be on the forbidden list. It is already banned in Master Duel, so who knows, right? Alright, Goliath, another floodgate, so you can play Beyond the Pendulum in this deck. It's really easy to summon Beyond the Pendulum because of all your Pendulum monsters. Beyond the Pendulum is extra cool because with Beyond the Pendulum, you're gonna grab your high scale, which is your Solfachord, if you don't have it, and you can just Pendulum summon outright. If you already have your entire setup, you can just add Goliath. This is level 8, this is scale 9, so this can Pendulum summon for this. I only recommend you to Pendulum summon if you're not gonna do anything else with your board, because this does lock you out of the extra deck. But yeah, if you have a setup like for Kulia, for example, like right after you resolve Beyond the Pendulum, then yeah, this can be a good floodgate. I also played this in the Solfachord K9 deck, if you remember that. Cupid Pitch, I still need to learn the combos with this card. I do think this card is going to go out of the game very soon. So if they actually end up gutting Herald and they end up putting Snatchy to 2, there's a world where you can just play Cupid Pitch. And you can do some cool things with Cupid Pitch. Cupid Pitch can add the Marshmallow, which is already a no-brainer. But Cupid Pitch can also add you Nemesis Corridor. And you can just, you can make whatever you synchro with this into SP Little Knight. And then SP Little Knight, banish your own card, and then just activate Corridor and turn it into Colossus. There are other yummy combos that you can do besides what I just mentioned. They are in the channel if you want to see them. I might even post it in the description since this is a yummy video. But yeah, those are some of the ideas that I have in mind. This is your typical Solfachord yummy extra deck. Like, the only thing that stands out is the Ensemble. This is something I was testing. I don't know if I like it yet or not, but everything else is pretty much standard as far as the deck goes. But yeah, that is Solfachord Yummy ENNEACRAFT. Stay tuned in the channel. I will show you this engine in other decks. I already have a couple of ideas in mind. Some of you guys already might know if I'm trying to hint at something here, but yeah. Until then, keep practicing and keep dueling.